All right, what is up, you guys? We are back with another joint review, Survivor Series 1996. And a big reason why you're here doing this one is because I know you're a huge fan of this pay-per-view.
Yes, I am, man. This is definitely in my top five favorite Survivor series. This was an awesome show from Madison Square Garden.
I mean, I've always said Madison Square Garden has a certain aura to it.
Yeah,
It's like 2002, which is my favorite Survivor Series. It just has that special feel. Whenever you're in the Garden, you have something special there.
yeah,
And I always love that. And so we actually had a dark match, which was a Survivor Series elimination match, and then the opener we had a Survivor Series elimination match, um, which was all right. I just wasn't really a fan of the opening traditional Survivor Series match. Went 20 minutes. We had Doug Furnace, Henry O. Godwin, Phil LaFone, Phineas Godwin defeating the British Bulldog, Leif Cassidy, Marty Jannetty, and Owen Hart.
yeah. This is in this weird new generation era, right?
Yeah,
And
it was in between. It's kind of like in that funk where it's becoming the Attitude Era, but you're still in the new generation era.
yeah,
It's always funny to see Marty Jannetty just kind of in there.
he had so many comebacks and returns throughout the years.
Yeah,
And yeah, Leif Cassidy, who would become Al Snow after this.
yep. I was always
Uh,
a huge Al Snow fan. I
yeah,
always liked him. Then we have the Undertaker versus Mankind in a singles match, which
yeah.
went 14 minutes and 52 seconds.
And this really surprised me that this was on second of the night.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't have as much heat. This is pre Hell in a Cell,
Right.
but you still had a good rivalry going here. You have two larger than life characters. I always loved early Mankind personally.
Yeah.
I think early Mankind's better. That's just kind of my take. But you had a nice little rivalry going on as a precursor to their kind of next set of matches.
And this was like a rebirth of Undertaker too, right? He made that grand entrance from the ceiling and new attire, a fresh look, kind of reinvented himself a little bit.
Yeah.
This was a good match. I don't think it was their best, but it
No.
kind of kept their story going.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about these Survivor Series elimination matches is we have three of them here. So you're going to have to pace it with a singles match in between.
Yeah.
It's hard to pace a Survivor Series because you have so many traditional matches who are multi-man matches, and you got to kind of throw a singles match. And unfortunately, this was just kind of the one that got thrown in there second.
Yeah. And they got Paul Bearer in the shark cage.
Yeah, I was never, I was never a Shark Cage fan.
Yeah.
I,
This is a weird stipulation, right?
yeah, they're gonna get out. Something's gonna happen. Yeah.
And why can't like anyone else just run in and say, "Oh, I paid him to run in" or whatever?
Yeah, or just like cut them. Like
Yeah.
next up, we had Jake Roberts, who was in his kind of sad '96 run here. I love Jake Roberts,
Yeah,
but God, this was rough. I
out
mean,
of shape.
yeah,
He was in troubled times here.
yeah. I mean, he did give us the putting over Stone Cold King of the Ring. He gave us that, but
Yep. And this is
he
just
was
months after that.
yeah. He was teaming with Mark Marrow with Sable at the time when they were married. With the kind of historic debut of Rocky Maivia.
Yeah, Yeah, what'd you think about this?
I mean, this is not The Rock. Like, this is a Caribbean, curly haired with like little streamers and
Yeah.
baby face.
This
Whereas
is like the new generation type of deal coming out.
and then a year later he was with the Nation. So I
Yeah.
mean, he had a good rookie year. You know, he won the Intercontinental Championship. You know, he was with this larger than life faction, which was the Nation. So he had a good rookie year.
Right.
And they were also teaming with the Stalker.
Yeah. Awful.
And they defeated Crush, Goldust, Jerry Lawler, and Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Yeah, that's a good team.
And, you know, Hunter was still kind of being punished here. He was supposed to win King of the Ring, which ended up being for the best that he didn't win.
Right.
But, you know, it's a decent match here. You know, I'm a huge Goldust fan, as you know. So you had a lot of cool dynamics going on in here. I was never a big
Yeah.
Crush. I was never a big Crush fan, but
Yeah, the Lawler and Jake going back and forth, right?
yeah,
I always liked when they did matches like that, and then you had all their feuds kind of intermingling with each other.
yeah,
Like Lawler and Jake would go at it, and then somehow, Triple H would get involved, or Goldust and Jake would get involved. It's
yep.
always cool how they did that with different storylines leading into Survivor Series.
And it's just like you don't see that anymore,
No.
unfortunately. It's just because you can do really cool things in these
Yeah.
traditional matches. And then we have Bret Hart versus Stone Cold to determine the number one contender for the WWF Championship. This went 24 minutes, so this is the longest match on the card. And you know, this we have Bret Hart going over here. I think it's for the best. I don't think it's quite Stone Cold's time yet.
No, this was an awesome match, though.
Yeah.
It's not WrestleMania 13, but it's close.
Nothing is WrestleMania 13.
No.
That to me is the greatest WrestleMania match of all time, right there.
Yeah.
But
And
it's a nice precursor, you know.
yeah, Austin was having really good matches in '96. He had a match with no, he had the match with Shauna in '97, but throughout '96 and into '97, Austin was a really good worker.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason he took off.
Yeah.
And I think we were still at this time here where you didn't quite know how fast he would take off.
No. And this thing was going, 100 miles an hour.
Like,
they were just going week to week, pay-per-view to pay-per-view.
Yeah. I mean, everyone knew he would get over, but not as insane as he did. We already had Austin 316 signs. You know, people were ready for this big Hulk Hogan-like figure, and even bigger than Hogan, you could say.
Right.
So, yeah. And then we had another 4-on-4. We had Diesel, Farouk, Razor Ramon, and Vader. And we had Jim Cornette out there, too. I've always been a Jim Cornette fan.
And this is fake Diesel.
Yeah, well. And they faced Flash Funk, Jimmy Snuka, interesting choice, Savio Vega, and Yokozuna. And this ended in a no contest.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, this is I don't know, kind of a boner kill for the pay-per-view.
Yeah. Good way to put it.
Yeah. I mean,
this is kind of it's cool to see different legends in here, though. Like, you don't see that anymore either.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Rumble, you get the surprise guest. I'd like to see that a bit more.
Yeah. And so we had 2 eliminations here. Diesel and Jimmy Snuka were eliminated both by pinfall, and then 9 minutes and 48 seconds, we have a disqualification.
And that's it, eh?
It kind of feels like a few of the other matches ran too long, so they had to cut this one.
Yeah.
The way I see it, just don't have the match.
Yeah, like WrestleMania 10, they cut the big match.
Yeah. And then our main event, we saw Psycho Sid versus Shawn Michaels with Jose Lothario at his side. And this went 20 minutes, and this was for the WWF Championship at the time. What are your thoughts on this Survivor Series main event? Whoop. Things are falling. We're good.
Watchamania.
Yeah, there
again.
we go. Yeah,
My thoughts on this match is this is incredible. Sid Vicious or Psycho Sid, whatever he's called here, gets a massive ovation here in the Garden, and Shawn Michaels is the babyface that they are, booing out of the building.
Bizarro land.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was never a Psycho Sid fan. Sid Justice, Psycho Sid, I never liked him.
Yeah.
Even here, I'm just like, why? But and then WrestleMania 13, he's pretty much I think that's a disaster of a main event for WrestleMania 13 with Taker and Sid. But
they should have went with Bret and Taker.
Well, the original plan was Bret and Shawn.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a rematch.
Yep.
Right, from 12 to 13.
But, it's best we didn't get that because we got Stone Cold and Bret Hart.
Yeah.
Stone Cold really, he put himself over in a lot of ways, but he got lucky in a lot of places.
Right.
Triple H was supposed to win King of the Ring. WrestleMania, we weren't even supposed to get Stone Cold and Bret. I heard a rumor we were supposed to get Stone Cold and Owen Hart at WrestleMania that year. That's what I've heard.
Really?
At WrestleMania 13, I've heard that. I don't know if there's how much truth there is to that, but
yeah.
Overall, what are your kind of final thoughts for this show?
This was I'd say, a good transitional period from the new gen into the Attitude Era kind of deal. I love this time period. I'm going to give this pay-per-view a solid A.
Yeah. I would go with an A-. I think the co-main event was just...
Yeah.
How do you have... It's almost like the Hell in a Cell finish for newer fans here. The Hell in a Cell finish, going to a no contest. It's just You shouldn't have a traditional Survivor Series match go to a disqualification.
No. That happened before, right? In one of the earlier years where everyone got disqualified, and I think Macho Man won by eliminations. Everyone was DQ'd. Something like that happened, right?
Yeah. It's something, yeah.
But a no contest is like, what the hell?
Yeah. I mean, but overall, I think this is a very important show. You have The Rock showing up for the first time here.
Yeah.
It's comparable to Undertaker in 90. Survivor Series had a lot of jump starts.
Yeah, and we didn't get many shows in the Madison Square Garden either, so it kind of brings its value up a little bit. That awesome crowd, the look of it.
Yeah, it always has a unique setup.
Yeah, I love the short aisleway.
Oh,
I always do that.
I love it. But yeah, if you want to go ahead and plug your channel for the viewers, go ahead.
Yeah, it's the Relaxing Ghost channel on YouTube. Come by and say hello.
All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and If you want to see him appear in my Royal Rumble review series, definitely let me know what Rumbles you want him to appear in. We'll definitely do a few of those.
Yeah.
But I think that's the first time I'm announcing that. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's going to be... Survivor Series is my favorite pay-per-view, and Royal Rumble's number 2. So, those will be fun to go back and rewatch.
Yeah.
But hope you guys enjoyed this. For now, this has been the DVD Freak.
Peace.